Okay, good morning. We are talking this morning about designing your paycheck, maximizing the career path. So this is Master Series for new directors and recommitted, rebuilding directors. This is our 7th session. And so as I was thinking about designing your paycheck, maximizing the career path, I start to think that design is a very proactive word. It's not a reactive word. And so if you think about these things along the career path, proactive, when a consultant gets proactive about her sales, we used to be taught to make a T-sheet and put it on the refrigerator with the number of sales that you needed. Say it's 800 to do Queen's Quarter sales, and you'd subtract against it. Versus reactive would be the consultant that's going to do her best, see what happens, and fill out a weekly summary sheet at the end. One's proactive, one's reactive. One's designing your paycheck, one's seeing what happens. Also, a weekly plan sheet, that's proactive. Versus the weekly summary sheet, again, is reactive. It's recapping. It's not that those things aren't important, but they serve a very different purpose. And so I start to write down maximize versus reactive, or maximize versus accepting. Are you maximizing your income, the career path, or are you just accepting what happens? On the maximize side, you're being proactive. On the accepting side, you're being reactive. On the maximize side, you're being strategic. On the reactive side, it's haphazard. On the maximize side, it's planned. Mary Kay always said, success is a planned event. On the reactive side, it's unplanned. On the maximize side, it's tracked. On the reactive side, it's not tracked, and it very easily you are distracted. On the maximize side, you understand where your money's coming from, how your bills are being paid, how you're paid. On the reactive side, there's lots of misunderstandings. When I hear directors say they don't make enough money, or a consultant say their Mary Kay business isn't working, I'm like, I don't understand. I do understand our career path. I do understand how I'm paid, and I do understand Mary Kay math. So I don't understand how you cannot understand. As a director, though, you will have people who never understand. Some never understand the recruiting process, so they'll never have $100 to start their Mary Kay business, and you don't understand that. Or you don't understand how someone, they need what Mary Kay has to offer, but they're unwilling to do something different to get something different. My best advice to you is to stop trying to understand that, because if you understood that, you would be that girl, and I wouldn't be having this conversation with you as a sales director. So if you don't understand when people are making choices that aren't in line with successful Mary Kay choices, you love them where they're at, but you invest time according to soil conditions, according to fruit, according to actions versus words. I look at the maximize side as wise when Henry Cloud talks about the wise, and the reactive, I'm going to accept whatever happens, as the foolish. One side, victor, maximizing, you're going to be a victor, or are you going to be a victim of whatever happens? The director check calculator, which this is on my website. I printed out so small. I was actually going to fill this out, and I'm like, I can't even read it. So you can print yours out bigger so you can actually read it. I feel like I'm going to have to get a magnifying glass, but it is accurate, and it will be on my website under the Masters 7. I think that is actually already there. I have a bunch of other resources that are going to be posted by later today. But you guys, the director check calculator is proactive. It's designing your paycheck, versus your commission statement on Mary Kay Inc. is It's reactive. It's already happened. That is, for a director, what a weekly summary sheet is to the consultant part of your business. The commission statement, if you are not in the habit of looking at that every single month, I want to encourage you to, because computers make mistakes and people who input into computers make mistakes. I will tell you that there have been thousands of dollars over the years that I've called the company about, and it's been a computer glitch. It does not happen frequently, but it does happen. And it's your paycheck. Like, who in the world doesn't look at how they're paid? I mean, we trust Mary Kay, and they don't do anything purposefully, whereas some companies do. Mary Kay Inc. does not, but people and computers make mistakes. So you go on to Mary Kay in Touch under reports, under monthly and historical report section, and then the statements and documents. And every single month, you look at that and make sure that that is accurate for you. That's a statement of your paycheck from the month. So that's a resource. A lot of this, I'm pointing to resources for you, because designing your paycheck and maximizing the career path is your responsibility. It's also your consultant's responsibility. It's your job to point them to where to get the resources, but you are not responsible for monitoring this. Like, Debbie Moore didn't monitor my paycheck every month. She didn't tell me how much more I needed to get to this amount of commission. I clearly knew that if I did a 600 and I had 5 or more ordering, that I was getting a 13% check. If I had 5 or more active and I did a 600, I was getting 9%. If I had less than that, I was getting 4%. I mean, now there's so much cash being thrown at you, but it's all right there. One of the resources are that advance brochure. It's on Mary Kay in Touch. Just do a search, advance brochure, and print it off. I mean, have it with you. And then when the company adds something on, you could always put a sticky note in there or reprint that page. Sometimes it's just a promotion for the year, etc. The basic stuff really does stay the same. But the advanced brochure, you guys read it, read it, digest it, know how you're paid. Mary Kay and You, that's like a snapshot of our career path that someone's done more recently. So it's like a marketing tool, but it's also education. So you're going to be able to find that on the master's resources on my website, but it's also in my new consultant training packet, because I want a new consultant to see this right from the beginning. I want to get used to her taking ownership. I'm not her boss. I'm not her mom. I'm not her manager. I'm not her psychiatrist. I am not Jesus. I am not her Holy Spirit. I am none of those things, and I am very grateful for it. I'm her resourcer. Resource her. That's your job. Chief Reminding Officer. You put it out there and you circle back around to it, and you circle back around to it, because obviously when people start working, including sales directors, as you work more, these resources become more meaningful and they become more understandable too. New directors, you have your new director programs. I'm Mary Kay in Touch. Like, when new directors don't know, at any moment, if you're a new director right now, you should be able to tell me in the next 90 days, when does your next 90 days stop? How many more Great Start Qualifieds do you need? And how much more production do you need? Just like in DIQ, at any moment, I can ask a DIQ how many more people they need active and what production they need. New directors, you follow along with the new director program, and that's not the maximum. Like, the new director programs are the minimum. Like, that's designing your paycheck and maximizing the career path, because you get $1,000 opportunity 4 times a year, plus for doing Fabulous 50s, plus for doing all of them. That's $6,000 a new director can get in her first year. I got a unit number. I got a unit number. I got no bonuses. I did a Cadillac in 9 months. We didn't even have Fabulous 50s then or any of these other things. There was no more cash. There was no cash for for a higher unit club. There wasn't that 6,000. Like, there's so much cash available on the career path now at these levels. Because something that you may have heard me share, Mary Kay Inc. probably again, never hold me to these amount of years, because I feel like with COVID, like I think it's 3 years ago, but now I'll just add 2 years on because of the pandemic. So 5 years ago or more, Mary Kay hired a company to do research on our marketing plan. So to compare our marketing plan with any other direct selling plan out there that was, not a fly by night, brand new, we have no idea what they even are thing. Um, every other company they compared us to, because if we're going to say we're the best opportunity for women, then we need to be the best opportunity for women right now. And so they found that at the director and consultant national level, no one can touch us. At the director and national level, no other company comes close. No comparison. There's no discussion. Done. But at the new consultant level, there was some opportunities that other companies were taking that we weren't giving our people to earn cash fast, trips. They did the Destination Red cruise, but now the STAR program incorporates that in. So now, with what they've added to the career plan, the Great Start program came from that. All the bonuses for red jackets, all the bonuses for new directors. You guys, there's no one can touch us income wise. No one can touch us opportunity wise, bar none. So when people, there's always the company of the day that, all of a sudden a bunch of people will start and people will start focusing on and get distracted from their own Mary Kay business. Like, oh, this, fill in the blank. Gosh, I've been in long enough. I can probably name 5 off the top of my head that people would get all distracted by or disappointed by. Like somehow people liking that took away from us. Mary Kay taught us, you never talk down about anyone else. We're selling Mary Kay. You don't sell Mary Kay's opportunity or product by talking about what anyone else does or doesn't do. We share our product and our opportunity, but you can do it with 150% confidence that no one else touches our marketing plan at all. That new director program, you go on to Mary Kay in Touch. It's probably under promotions. It's all detailed out. They have some tracking sheets. I also have tracking sheets on my director section. It's not part of Masters. It's underneath the Masters program, a tracking sheet for every single one of those 4 programs. So also, another resource. This, I don't have to spend an hour teaching you maximizing director's income, because I recorded this a decade or more ago. It's a director training. It's on YouTube now under my audio training. So that's one of your assignments, to listen to maximizing director's income. You can have consultants listen to that. If consultants want to be directors, I have no problem with DIQs, people who want to be directors listening to that, because then they make their choices differently in DIQ. They're not focusing on, I have to get 3 red jackets to build my unit. They're focusing on getting 9 personals instead, because that's what they're going to make the most money doing. So the company's promotions are going to change. So when you're listening to this, I don't know what the company's promotions are going to be, but I can tell you that Mary Kay wanted us to make money. Her and Daleen White were dogs with a bone about us making money doing this business, making money selling this product, and making money personally sharing. Actually, in Mary Kay's this Pass It On book, I couldn't put my finger on it this morning, but there's a part in there when Mary Kay is talking about training new consultants. And she asked them, how many parties are you going to be doing a week? And if they answered less than 5 a week, she told them that maybe they should consider doing something else. Let that sink in. Those of you who are trained by Daleen White know that that's true. Because I can remember, like it was yesterday, in Brunswick, Georgia. It wasn't the Shoney's Inn, it may have been the Sheraton. It was at a hotel that I regularly did meetings, and Daleen White standing there, and it was 5 parties a week, and literally, like, people would not make eye contact with her. Like, oh my gosh, like, she's serious about this? Like, she was very serious about it. And what's so interesting to me is we've circled back around. Team 100 is 5 parties a week. It's 25 faces a week. That's 5 parties. Isn't it interesting that God's brought us right back to where it started? It went down to 3 plus 3 plus 3. Then it went down to 30 faces a month as a power start. And you guys, that was not pretty. We had people not being able to maintain cars, not build units, not keep units, not make money. And now we're circling back around and going, okay, like I loved the pandemic for that shelter in place, the less travel, the less time taken for other things, so that there was time for me to evaluate, like, okay, what got me to this point? I shared those things on boot camp with consultants. And then during the pandemic, I started to evaluate as a sales director, what were the things that served me well? What's been watered down? What do we have to circle back to? Um, Kathy Halou, those of you who did your gold medal in October were treated to her yesterday. And it was classic Kathy Halou, classic Mary Kay. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. She talked about the gold medal habit, the gold medal habit. She said it's a habit. And the first time she did it, it was for a challenge. So if you didn't do it in October for that challenge, I want you to challenge yourself this month. Right now it's November when I'm recording this, but whenever you're listening to this, challenge yourself. I am not going to let November go by without getting a gold medal, because that's what Kathy said, in a qualified gold medal. You guys, we've watered this down so much. It's like, just get, 5 people to do $30 e-starts. That's vastly different than 6 qualified recruits. Vastly different. She had a qualified gold medal. And so I started to do some math on that. So, back then when Kathy was doing it, directors didn't get a $100 bonus for each qualified, and consultants didn't get anything for qualifieds either. Let's look at that math in today's dollars with what Mary Kay gives you. First off, as your own personal qualifieds, it's unlimited. Unlimited how many $100 bonuses for qualifieds you get. And the people don't even, like when Kathy's talking about it, it was 600 in that month, their first order. I mean, now you have the great start. It's cumulative over 4 months. That's a huge difference. We should be getting far more qualifieds because of that. And that's a system. An assistant is tracking that for you, right? So you're bringing them in, but $100 per personal qualifieds. And then for your unit development, again, we didn't have this, a minimum of 4, but if you have 5, you have your unit 4 because yours count for your unit. For your unit, you only get up to 10. But you guys, 5 people qualified, like Kathy was talking about, a qualified gold medal, plus what you get from your unit development, 100 more. You guys, that's $1,000 a month income right there. I multiplied that out. That's $12,000 a year right there, just for you getting a qualified gold medal every month. You guys need more money? Get a qualified gold medal every month. That's $12,000 extra dollars that's coming into your family budget. You guys, that puts people in college. That pays for private school. That allows you to move to a different home, to pay off debt, to invest, to help other people. It's not because you can't. It would only be because you're unwilling to, right? That in our business, we cannot say we can't afford something. You can only say you're unwilling to work for it. Let's look at some more math because this gets pretty exciting. So if you had $12,000 a year, so that's not even including your 26% on what you're getting on your whole unit, right? And your personals. So I did some math here. So with the $600, if each of the 5 did $600, that's $3,000 times 26%. So that's just a portion of, right, your director check calculator. That's $780 a month. So this is assuming just these 5. This isn't rest of your unit. This isn't rest of your team, etc. That's $780 a month times 12 months. That's $21,360 that you could make. $21,360 just from your gold medal for a year, from your $100 bonuses, your unit development bonuses, and just the 26% on those 5, not all the rest of them, for 12 months. $21,360, you could increase your income. You guys, there's people that don't make that in a whole year. There's a lot of people that go to college right now for 4 solid years and they don't make that when they get out after taxes. Some of them don't make it out before taxes. Think about that. So, Kathy Halou was talking about getting that gold medal. First, it was for a challenge, and then she was sharing a story about Jordan, her daughter, who is a $1 million director. And she was sharing that Jordan had gotten to a point in her Mary Kay business that she had plateaued. She had done 400,000 for a really long time. And she came to Kathy and just said, you know what, I'm not really sure if Mary Kay is my thing, if I should continue with this. And Kathy goes, obviously I was a little bit upset about that, but I just said, you know what, Jordan, why don't you do this? Get a qualified gold medal and then decide. So Jordan did. She got a qualified gold medal. 2 of those 5 ended up going on to become Trip and Cadillac sales directors. But that started the gold medal train for Jordan that then led to, she went from 400,000 that seminar year to 800,000. And then she's done million 3 or 4 times and was queen in our seminar last year. So, you guys, that's maximizing the career path. That is like strategic and planned. You have to ask yourself, mentally, like you say this is a business, because I assume that when someone's doing this as a sales director, that you're not calling this a hobby any longer, right? Like you're past hobby phase. But you guys think about it. Like if this is a business, I always ask myself, if this was going on in my life right now, okay, so I'm moving, my daughter's getting married, I have a senior in high school, we're doing college visits, I had a C-section, I have 2 babies 24 months apart, and the one still refuses to sleep through the night. Open heart surgery. Aging parents, putting a mother-in-law in hospice yesterday. Life. I ask myself, though, if I was at this season of life with aging parents, with an opportunity to make a 6-figure or $1 million income, with a free car, with the potential for residual income and a retirement plan, would I be going to work today? And if the answer is yes, I've gone to work for 35 years. For 35 years, because that's how you work a business. That's how you go. It amazes me that people will be more dedicated to a job that can fire you at any second, as we've seen now, put any mandate on you and fire you if you don't abide by what they say or what the government says that you should do. Or the economy changes, and so you no longer have a job. They'll work harder and make more sacrifices for that. In Mary Kay, I don't believe any of the time I've invested has been a sacrifice. All the time I've put into my Mary Kay has been an investment. When you do something as a business, you have bills to pay, you have financial goals to meet, and it's fun, but fun is not the predominant reason why you do it. Whereas if something's a hobby, you do it because it's fun. And so if it's not fun, you don't do it. A hobby, you do when it's convenient. And let's be honest, I've never seen a hobby that anyone's had that doesn't cost them money. A hobby costs you money. And so as a director, there's not really any such thing as a hobby director. But if you make choices like a hobbyist, doing it when it's convenient, not maximizing the career path, not maximizing income, not doing it proactively, only doing it when it's fun, it is going to cost you money. And Mary Kay would never want that. And again, it's so easy to change. New directors listening to this, the best thing you can do is get a gold medal this month. Doing Queen's Court of recruiting is what put me into that Cadillac so quickly. And as I just heard on a conversation with retiring, number 3 in the world, retiring national sales director, Cindy Williams, she said, I never was worried about production because I always had a big unit. I mean, when you are start the gold medal train. I mean, honestly, you guys, start the bronze medal train. Start the train. Like, get the train going. So, so and you do that, and then it turns into a gold medal train. I mean, even if you had 30 or 3 a month times 12, 36 in a year, you still do the quart of recruiting, get 5 in to get 3 qualified. I mean, don't sit there and go, oh, I can't get 5 and don't do any at all. No, that's a hobby decision. That's not a business owner decision. So let's look at some other math, because I put onto that 21,360 just on your gold medal that was counting towards a unit, and the commission on those, the 5 people doing 600. I'm assuming that a sales director is selling at least $1,000 a week. That's 3 parties. That's not 5 parties. If you're doing 5, you're going to sell far more than that. I have new consultants that are selling that in a week. I have new consultants that are selling $4,000 to $8,000 in a month right off the bat, because they embrace in-person and virtual, and they have full-time jobs, and they have lots of kids. But I'm assuming that you're selling 4,000 a week, or 1,000 a week. 4,000 a week is great too. 1,000 a week, so that's 4,000 in a month. I am, for these examples, giving you a 40% profit. Okay, so in a month, 4,000 you sell, 1,600 goes into your pocket. The rest is going to replenish your inventory and the 10% for business cost. So if you add on that 1,600 profit in a month so that is $19,200 a year. You add that on to the example I gave you with just that gold medal, that's $40,560 a year plus car for you getting a qualified gold medal every month in just that production on those 5 people. You guys, is that not crazy? $40,560 a year. That's a lot of money, you guys. That's a lot of money, and that is not including all this other stuff. You can easily see what if you focused on that for 12 solid months? What would happen? You're going to end up in your Cadillac. You're going to end up with 80,000 or more in income. You're just gonna, because you can't get 5 times 12? What is that, 72 or 60 people? The bumblebee, it put Kathy Halou on the throne. And she told a story. She started off her first year as a director on the throne. And then when she did the 2 million, she again was on the throne. She said, if I wouldn't have gotten on the throne with my personal recruiting, we wouldn't have done 2 million. So in Kathy Halou, I loved with her training, she said it was just through parties. She did the 4-point recruiting plan. She goes, I did my 5 parties a week because that's what Mary Kay told us to do. And Mary Kay told us that there's a new Mary Kay beauty consultant at every single party. And so I told them that. I did my, 3-minute why story, I story, before, now, and future story, whatever you want to call it. And I'd pick out 1 or 2 people to talk to about the opportunity. And then when I recruited them, she goes, I would take them to my parties. If I was going in person, they'd meet me somewhere. They'd come with me so I could talk to them before and after. She's like, honestly, she's like, virtual, like, what's so hard? They pop into your Zoom room. They pop into your Facebook, post my party. If you've done your job and done your power start in each of the different venues, in person, in Facebook, in Zoom, then you easily can have them join you in any of those things. She said, I just took them. I was earning while they were learning. And that's how they learned how to do their job. That's how I did Queen's Court of Sales every single year as a director. And you guys, once you start to do Queen's Court of Sales repeatedly, you start to get to the point that Queen's Court of Sales is your reorder business. And your Queen's Court of Sales, 20,000 wholesale, that more than takes care of all your business expenses. I highly recommend, Mary Kay always taught us that your sales pay for any of the expenses in your Mary Kay business, so that your director check and your recruiting check is your family paycheck. And so even with the example I gave you, if you're retailing 4,000 a month, profiting 1,600, and doing at least 2,000 wholesale, you at that level can pay at 1,600 a month profit, that more than pays all your business expenses. It pays for your meeting fees, it pays for your assistants, it pays for your events, it pays for your suit, it pays for your promotions. The only way it wouldn't is if you get to the point where you have $1 million unit. But what I found is that as my unit grows, expenses don't grow proportionately, because your admin, someone can push a button and it can go out to 200 of my people in the same amount of time that it goes out to 20 of yours. And I pay her for the same hour or the same 30 minutes. Do you understand what I'm saying? Expenses in Mary Kay don't go up in proportion to the size of your organization, which is a great asset to us. So I can run $1 million unit on $1,600 cost a month easily. And then I can keep my whole director check and my whole recruiter check for my family's paycheck. But I loved that, as Kathy was sharing yesterday, it was just classic Mary Kay. Just so simple. Like, this business is that simple. Like, don't make it complicated. Don't feel like you have to do every single person's idea out there. Do yourself a favor. As a new director, I didn't know all those ideas because the internet wasn't invented yet. And so, which is so crazy to even say, like, what do you mean it wasn't invented? Like, what is that? It wasn't invented yet. We didn't even have emails. We didn't have our computers or anything. Put your blinders on. What do you have to lose as a new director for a year to get a gold medal every month? And, work up to getting the 6 qualifieds. Work up to Team 100 every single month to do Mary Kay's plan, 25, 100 faces, making sure that they're target market, making sure you have your skincare set sold, and making sure you're doing the 4-point recruiting plan, because you will have, out of 100 faces, if you can't find 5 recruits out of there, then we have to seriously look at your recruiting strategy. It will definitely point to that. So, assignment, listen to the Maximizing Directors Income on my YouTube. Read the advanced brochure, print it off, whatever you need to do with it. New directors, print off your tracking sheets for your new director programs. Look at that information on Mary Kay in Touch. Call your sales development every single month and say, where am I ranked? As soon as the month's closed out, where am I ranked? Where am I ranked in my class? That is so exciting. That's so exciting. It was so fun for Raina she was the first person that was #1 in her class in our national area. But she called sales development every single month. And she'd go, oh my gosh, like, how far away am I from so-and-so? And well, they don't tell you who so-and-so is, and they don't tell you how far away you are, but they'll go, oh, you're closer. Oh, you better get going a little bit. And so that's a good thing, right? So new directors, call sales development and see where you're at in your class. The director check calculator. Print that off. And I want you guys, this is your homework this week. I want you to fill out the director check calculator, because I was going to do that. I'm like, you guys, I know how to do this. You don't know how to do it, or you'd be doing it. So I need you to print off 3 of these. And you might want to make it bigger in case you have more mature eyes. And I want you to fill out one for a Malibu director, which means you're doing, 42,000 in 6 months, which is 7,000 a month wholesale. For a director to earn a Malibu, it's 7,000 a month wholesale. Honestly, you guys, when you look at those numbers, get your Malibu as a DIQ and as what you could slide into DIQ and new directorship, but you still get to qualify as a consultant. What's better for you? 23,000 and 16 people or 42,000 over 6 months? I don't know. I think that's a deal. 23,000 and 16 people. That's another case for people earning their cars while they're in directorship. And if they're doing teams, they naturally are going to be. But Malibu, figure out the director check calculator for 7,000 a month. Equinox, it's 9,500 a month on average. Caddy, it's 17,000 a month. I want you to do this 3 times and save these, because you're going to use these. Because every time I do these with directors or consultants, they're like, oh, wow, like, that's a lot of money. And you guys, I was like, with a Cadillac, if I take the 102,000 and divide it by 6, it averages 17,000 unit wholesale a month. But if you're doing your 5 personal qualifieds, you're getting 5 times 6 months is 30 recruits times the 600 car credit, which is 18,000 in car credit in 6 months you'd have towards your car. You subtract that from the 102,000, it means instead of 17,000 a month, you have to average like 14,000 a month for your Cadillac when you have those personal qualified car credits in there. You know, you can subtract that from any of the different car programs. If you take 5 qualifieds times your 6 months for a director car, 18,000 in car credits, plus you got 18,000 if they only just did 600. So that's 36,000 right there. That means that in the 6 months, to get the Malibu, you only need 6,000 more, 1,000 a month wholesale more, in addition to what you're doing with your personal qualifieds. Wow. With Equinox, you subtract, the 57,000, take the 12, take that 12, that 18,000 off, plus the 18,000, so the 36,000 off. Again, what are you going to have to do? Like 2,500 a month in other production to get your Equinox? And same for Caddy, you guys. It makes your numbers look totally different depending on how you're getting that production. So I want you to make one for 7,000 a month, one for 9,500 a month, and one for 17,000 a month. So you can see exactly what your paycheck is going to be at those different levels. And laminate it, keep it on hand. Also, a consultant check calculator, that's going to be on my master's resources. Fill that out. Obviously, they just have from product sales and their team building and then any bonuses that are available to them. But I always love showing a consultant, even if she earns a car, what her check will be on the consultant check calculator. And then as a Malibu director, what her check would be. It's always, it's usually like 700 to 1,300 for the consultant in commissions plus the sales of her product. And for a director, it's going to be 2,000, 2,500 plus the sales of her product, 3 times as much. And if she's a team manager, she may say, I'm doing pretty much the same work, so why wouldn't I do that? I think that this should be done at least once a quarter in your business. And anytime you see someone at new consultant orientation that you think has what it takes to be a sales director, she, has those characteristics we're looking for, or you just want her, you just like, God lays her on your heart. It's like, I want you to be a leader with me. Let me show you something, because I can't tell you over my years how many times when I put it in black and white with a woman or with her and her husband, and they look at it and they go, why wouldn't I be a director? It doesn't even make sense not to be a sales director. And if you already have these things printed up and ready to go, then you use that, because you're not only recruiting people into Mary Kay, you're also recruiting people up the career path. On Mary Kay in Touch, you can see where you're at in your car program. So you can see what you need to do by the end of the next quarter, or what you're starting to do so that by the end of 2 quarters from now, where you're going to be, and how your new gold medal habit or bronze medal or silver medal habit is going to serve you well. Let's talk about retirement for a second before we wrap up. The national program, obviously, you guys know, you can see on the advanced brochure what the nationals are paid. Gosh, Kathy Halou, her check average is about $33,000 a month for 15 years. So that's $4.75 million in her retirement. Yeah, I think she's pretty glad that she started a gold medal habit. And Debbie Moore, about $22,000 a month, so $3.2 million in her retirement. You guys, Mary Kay pays a lot for women to invest in finding leaders to protect our culture, our principles, and our traditions. As an NSD, your unit can go to your daughter or any first line. If you don't have a daughter, it could be a niece. It could just be a first line director when you officially retire as a national. Obviously, customers can all be given to whoever you want to give customers. So that's retirement. Think about that. People think NSD or nothing. That's not true. Customers ordering. I mean, that is a retirement program. If you did Queen's Court of Sales, you guys, that's $20,000 a year profit. That's great retirement income. You add that on top of Social Security, And other money that you're making, that's a lot more than people make. I know people, my mother-in-law worked as a nurse in charge of 300 nurses at a facility in Michigan and got a going away lunch. There was no retirement, and that's not uncommon. You guys, people have worked their whole lives and they think they're working for retirement, and when they get there, there's no retirement because the industry's gone, it was sold, it was downsized. But let's also look at, this will be posted on my website also, with the master's stuff that Kristen Myers, Senior National Kristen Myers, wrote up, that she put a fast track to elite executive senior sales director. She said, how much does an elite make just from her offsprings? So an elite has 8 offsprings. So maybe you've aged out of being a national. Maybe you don't feel called to be a national. Maybe you want to be a director for the rest of your breathing days to help protect this culture and forward this company. Awesome. We don't need everyone that cares about legacy and this culture to retire at 65. That's not going to be a good Mary Kay day. So if that, shine where you're supposed to be shining. But the math on this is pretty incredible. How much does an elite make just from offspring? 8 offsprings or more. And she lists this, all the math out. So this is not any other avenues of income, just from her 8 offsprings. $6,600 a month, they average. That's $79,200 a year. You guys, I don't know very many people that make $79,200 a year in retirement. So you could be an active elite director in Mary Kay, meaning that you're answering questions and you're doing everything from your home and your phone, and make $79,200. Because sales directors, you're basically chief reminding officers, right? They're out there building their business. So you guys, there's lots of resources for this Master 7. It's like, know what's going on, plan, and then do. You be the CEO of your company, the CFO, so Chief Executive Officer, Chief Financial Officer, and then the worker bee. You're the worker bee, you're the superstar, you're the coach and the quarterback. And we're always the chief reminding officers. And I think it's always a great reminder that once you have that starter kit at your house, you can't say you can't afford something. You guys, please don't say that. You can tell your kids we're choosing not to spend our money that way, but don't tell them that we can't afford it when the truth is you're unwilling to work for it. We have to model grit. We have to model a good work ethic. That's so important in our country. I mean, we have lots of people now that believe that they would rather have the government take care of them than go out there and work. That's not democracy. That's not what our country was founded on. And that's not why Mary Kay started this company. She started it so that you could take a dream and a work ethic, no finances whatsoever, dream and work ethic, and turn it into a multi-million-dollar, sustainable, legacy-focused business. Okay, you guys, thank you for joining me for Maximizing Your Income. I look forward to hearing all the success stories, because you're going to be making proactive versus reactive choices.